Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm Board.
And we have a review for you of Tiny Epic Pirates, which does include the Curse of the Amdiak expansion.
Yes, so like usual here at Bald and Board Games, we'll go through the 5 categories of storage, the rulebook, the components, the design, as well as gameplay.
Yep.
Give a score out of 5 for both myself and Bald, and then combine those to get Bald and Board Games' final score.
Yep.
We will slightly, for those of you who have been watching on YouTube for a while, we have decided that in the course of our review videos, we've given 5s out too much, or at least I have, and some I have.
I definitely have in some ways too. So
we're going to balance things out a little bit better, where to get a 5, it needs to be like truly perfect. So you might see our Bald and Board Game scores drop slightly from what you would normally expect, but that's because we're reallocating points appropriately.
Yep. There we are. Trying to make sure that things are fair across the board.
Yes.
No pun intended. All right. So first we're starting
All the puns intended.
with storage.
Yes. So storage is this box. Curse of the Amdiak comes with its own separate little box here.
Yep.
That's standard for Tiny Epic Games. For this game specifically, I'll just do a whole zoom out. You have all these map tiles. You have a bunch of little components, treasure chest, ships, a lot of that things. You have a bunch of cards, all to go into this box. The expansion has like 1 extra ship, 4 extra map cards, and a handful of other tokens. But everything else goes in the big box here. So for me, the map cards fit perfectly fine. The player cards and all these other cards are pretty much all the same size. They stack in nicely. The ships, all the small cards, all the tokens, pretty much go in a bunch of different bags, and then they all get placed in here. Do they fit? Yes. Do they fit well? Sure. My main thing and gripe with this is if it was just a bunch of tokens and bags, fine. It would be like a 3 or 4. You have a bunch of ships that easily can get dinged up and if you're pushing things against it. I wish they added some type of divider that would protect the ships. Mm-hmm. They are nice little minis. I know one of them, like the top, one of the sails, masts keep coming off. But they didn't add any protection in either box for the ships. So my storage score for this game, I'm going to give a 3.
Okay. Yeah, so for storage, the box that Tiny Epic typically uses it's not bad. Like, it's actually great that somehow they figured out a way to make all these games that fit into the same size boxes, and they're very different. But those issues do arise with the ships, the potential of, like, the sails getting bent, being put in here and squished and stuff. For the most part, they fit nicely, but there isn't any protection when you're, like, moving around for them to not get jostled. What? You said all puns intended. So it does become an issue. So not to labor the point any more than Board's already done, I gave it a 3.5 for that.
All right. So next in our realm of grading is the rulebook. So we have the main rulebook here. Underneath it, we have the rulebook for the expansion. There is no specific player aids for this game.
Correct. So yeah, for the rulebook that we have here, the rulebook is very to the point. A lot of pictures here, again. It does appear very wordy, but it reads very quickly and very easily. They're very short paragraphs to the point. It's easy to see what section you're looking for if you are flipping through this. Everything is organized in a way that makes sense as well. And the same goes for the Curse of Amdiak. Again, a lot of pictures in the beginning on how to set it up. The diagrams here are bigger, I've noticed, in these rule books than in something like Tiny Epic Western. They're more noticeable. So you're not really missing parts in here like we did in some previous games, especially like that page right there. Very, very clear. I don't honestly have an issue with this rulebook at all. So we went back and referenced this rulebook a lot to mainly look at, okay, for clarification. But going through this, the one time I went through it as a refresher, the one time you went through it as well, I don't think there's anything in here that was particularly confusing or wasn't clear on how something worked. There's some things that we just forgot out of like playing the game for the first time in general. We had to go back and look at. So there isn't anything wrong there. Something that I think I would have liked for there to be in here that wasn't is some more clarity on the effects of the crew, right? So I'll show you this one here. I have this person here, right? Where typically this means when I take the attack action, I get to re-roll. But does this also mean when in battle in general,
No, I think
I get to re-roll? But that's the thing, is there's no clarification in there.
Was there not? I thought there was.
No. No, there's not.
I made that assumption that you can only use
There is clarification for the re-roll portion,
Sure.
but not for this ability as a whole. Because it does say in there, when you do the ability, you get the bonus ability. So the assumption can be made that I would have to be the one attacking to be able to use
based
the
on your captain's orders. So your
Right.
captain's orders are these. That is the only time you can use.
So that's what I'm
bonus
saying.
abilities.
So that's my other thing is I wish that was just there was some clarity on these.
It could have been an example though. Yeah.
Because these are repeated so many times that there could have been an example. I didn't knock it for that though. I gave the rulebook a 5 out of 5.
Which means so we should clarify that earlier too, because you did re-roll one of my attacks. It didn't matter.
I didn't win.
No, you did. You would have won it regardless. You re-rolled the 2 and got a 4, which gave you 1 extra hit, but it wouldn't have changed anything.
Oh, okay, whatever.
I still would have lost.
It was in this game where you won anyway.
No, it wasn't this game.
Yeah, it was this one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
What was your score? Anyway.
5.
Oh, you gave 5? Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I agree at the beginning. So very clear beginning. It goes through very detailed and game setup. I do love how they literally say, step 1, do this. Then it's step 2 with a bunch of bullet points. Mm-hmm. So it's not just like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph.
Yep.
It goes through nicely bullet points and says, okay, the legend mat is bullet point 3. All of this is for the legend mat and so on. So great for setup. Gameplay overview. It gives you that generic overview, tells you what your actions are, and then goes in depth for all of them. To Nick's point, there's a few things like I forgot, but that was mostly the clarifications going back and forth. Solo at the end. And again, the expansion book is about the same. The only issue I have with this rulebook is if we go to this page here and this page here, so these are all the different symbols you would see on the crew cards, both the skeleton crew and the normal crew. I would have loved this to be on the very back of the rulebook. So the back of this rulebook here is, I think also, yeah, so purple here is solo. That's solo as well. I wish they put solo before all of the iconography and put the iconography on the back of both of these.
Yeah.
That way it could just sit out, you could see it. We had multiple times, that was what we were referencing in the rulebook was, what do these crews actually do? Like, because the symbol on one of these and the symbol on that technically mean the same thing, but they look different. So I'm giving it a 4.5.
All right. So next up we have the components. So that is all the bits and pieces that come with the game, what they're made out of, all that stuff. Not the artwork or the iconography, but just the components themselves.
All right, I'll start with the components in the player area here. So, as I throw it off the table.
Yep.
So first off, we have dice. So they're little, small, mini dice. They look cool. We'll talk about design later, but they're solid dice. They do the job. You have cards. The card component is not great. A bunch of these cards already, you can see the edges just fading away. So they are very cheap, simple cards.
Mm-hmm. They're linen finished, but they do have the. Unfortunately, they are thin.
Yeah, they're super thin
They're
cards.
finished how they should be, but they're very thin.
Yes. So the cards, yeah, could have been a little bit better of quality because you are shuffling these decks of cards and grabbing them and moving them around throughout the game. On the player boards here, all of these tokens I love. So you have these little surefire tokens here that gain you extra in your battle, which makes sense. It's a cannon. You have your little meeples that are your deckhands. You have your captain who's bigger. And they even went into, we're talking design, how they look. These tokens here, I wish they just went with acrylics. Like they upgraded everything else. They have tokens everywhere. These that go around your board, there's 5 of them per player. I wish these were acrylics, but they are hard cardboard. They do the purpose. They fit in where they need to fit in.
Looking at the Surefire tokens, we really messed up our battles. The Surefire token is not an additional hit. It allows you to change any die that you have.
Oh, to whatever you want?
Yeah, so it says after rolling, you may discard a Surefire token from your helmet to set one already rolled die to a face of your choice.
Oh, goddamn.
So we messed up 2 things with the battling.
Nice.
But it's fine. That's not the rulebook problem. It says it very, very clearly under Surefire token.
Yeah.
That was us forgetting it. Sorry. I saw the icon that's why I was looking.
That makes sense. So the rest of the tokens here, and we'll go to the actual map, are all mostly tokens. So you have little treasure chests, you have your Amdiak urns, you have your people, you have all these different tokens that are hard plastic, but the captain's orders on your game board are cardboard. These make sense as cardboard. These are just tokens going on. You flip it once, it tells you what happens, done.
Yeah.
The ones on your game board, I wish they were also that acrylic hard plastic. The other component is the ships. Ships look cool. They're all, I think, slightly different. Or are they exactly? No, they're all the same.
They're the same, yeah.
There's different colors based on your player color. But they're cool ships. They each fit in the different resources you're picking up, which is the other set of components here. You have cubes for the different resources. And I know we've gone back and forth in multiple games. I like that they're cubes. You cannot tell which one's which in this bag while pulling them. So the randomness is pure.
It's something that got a mark down in our Brink review was that the cubes were different shapes. So for myself, I always knew what cube was I was pulling out if I was paying attention.
Yeah.
So I had to purposely turn my mind off.
Yeah.
Where here, you never really know.
No, you don't. So usually, I like resources to look like the resource. In this game, it works. You have 4 colors. You know exactly what they mean. The color matches on the board. And when you're pulling these, which are random, you don't know which one you're grabbing. So I do love that. And then you have, again, a bunch of cards. You have a little market map here. So overall, I enjoy a lot of the components. My main gripe is the cards are just super thin. Mm-hmm. And I wish these tokens on my player board were hard acrylic. Oh, we do have metal coins, too, which are great.
We do. Yep. Those came with
so
it.
I give components in this game a 4.
All right. Okay. So for components for myself, so first off, yes, we have the metal coins, which came with the game, which have Gamelyn Games icon on them. That is amazing. They did not have to buy these separately, from what I remember. Pretty sure I didn't. Let's just verify this real quick.
Probably there's only
4
doubloons.
doubloons. 4 gold doubloons. Because only 4 of them, it comes with them already like that. I love the silk screen printed wooden pieces for the cannons, those surefire tokens, for your legendary tokens, for your treasure chests as well. I think that, and for the urns, I think that those are a great touch to the component. I don't mind the triangles being. I guess the silk screen thing is not part of this. That'd be part of design probably, but I like that these are shaped like their actual thing. That is what I do like. I like that this is shaped like a pirate's skull and hat with a sword in its mouth. Same with the little meeple people. I like that the captain is a captain shape and the workers are little worker meeples, even with a little bandana thing off the side. That's wonderful. Like I said, I don't mind the little triangle pieces being punch outs. I think that's not super. It doesn't really affect the game one way or the other for me. The same with the circular punch outs for the tokens that go on the board. That doesn't change anything for me. I don't mind the square cubes for the resources either. The cards are where I have the issue. They are quite thin, so if you're playing this a lot, they're going to get dinged up. And because they're thin, these cards here that form the map, they hold a warp very easily. They definitely stay warped up. I tried to fold them a bunch and push and pull them so they stayed flat, but they definitely hold that slight warp, which definitely creates some issues. The cursed gold, I like that this cube looks like a ghost of sorts. That was very creative. They did that. The dice, I like that the dice are this color, not regular dice. I wish this would have come with 6 dice, because both of us can get to a max of 3. So at least if you're playing a 2-player game, you're only really ever having 2 people battle. So just give us 3 more dice. They're small. Like, what are you doing? Instead of us having to share, because we just shared 2 dice, and the third one did nothing most of the time, because it's very difficult to get up into that 3 spot for rolling dice. The ships are very cool, but that's where my problem comes in, is they're a little flimsy, right? So I appreciate them doing the plastic ship. I think that is awesome. The sails are a nice touch, but as you saw in our playthrough, if you watch it, Board constantly ripped his mast out of his ship. And that is frustrating. I don't think you need the masts. It's a nice touch, but it causes that problem where it pulls out and then it falls over and you put the new things back on.
Just also trying to fit in the things in between the masts.
Exactly. Just have a ship where you're putting the pieces on there, like in Puerto Rico, that game.
In Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So I think this is my one gripe is the actual ships, how flimsy those masts can be and how delicate you have to be while playing with them. So besides that and the thin cards, I don't have an issue with the components at all. So I did give it a 4.5 because most of these are very cool. Despite the mass on these, the actual component itself is sturdy and functional, which I do enjoy, because they could have easily just made this some wooden block you put things on top of. So 4.5.
All right. So category number 4 is design. So iconography, how does everything look? Is it cool?
Is it cool? So this is where the silk screening will fit in for me. So we have four components with the expansion that have the silk screening on these wooden pieces. Why can't you do that elsewhere? So you can take the resources, keep them squares, but do the same thing. Put some silk screening on these that just give them a little bit of a variability. Like the symbols that match on the actual board. Like one, so you have, this one could just have literally a white coffee bean on each side. This one has that purple, like poison vial symbol. This one has the barrel. This one has the sugar cane, whatever it is. That would have gone the extra mile for me and made those more interesting. The captain and the little people, sure, it'd be nice to do those as well. I don't care as much about that. It's really like those resources, because they're such a major part of the game. Would have been nice to have, but that is my only issue. Everything else, I think design-wise, is great. On the main map, the way that you shuffle this and put these out, now we just happen to get these 4 in a line, typically they're mixed in, but everything flows because every corner ends at the same exact spot on the corner. So as long as that matches up, you can do whatever inside the corner, and it's going to make it look so different every time you play, which is really cool. It's like we have this like specific cove here, that's very different from this one that's right here and bigger than this over here, and it feels like you're visiting a bunch of different islands, which is awesome. And then it mixes in seamlessly with this here. The iconography is very clear, very to the point. There isn't too much of it. You know right away that if you go here, you're doing the plunder. Here, you're doing that market trade action. That's a cove. Like, immediately once you learn it, everything is great. The pirates are a lot of fun to look at, especially with the skeleton crew pirates from the Curse of the Amdiak expansion. The market itself, they made it look like a market, which is awesome. It's very clear to see, okay, Navy ship, this is how much it moves. The other issue that I have with the design, because they clearly, I could, yawn. which they clearly,
man over here.
I gotta breathe better. They clearly corrected with the expansion. So I don't know if they got feedback after the original one, but when the expansion came out, it was different. This tiny little storm cloud here, despite the artwork, this tiny storm cloud is too small for people to see, especially when you have a bunch of boats on the board. If you look at the expansion stuff, that cloud is much bigger. It is at least twice the size. Very, very noticeable. The artwork itself also is a little bit more noticeable as to being a storm for the most part. I guess it's kind of the same as this. It's mainly the cloud that's bigger. That stands out. So design for me got a 4.5 out of 5.
All right. So starting off, I do agree with some of the same things. So I'll call this right off the back. It's right in front of me. Yes, the storm cloud, huge difference. I had multiple times where a token was just like sitting there, and I'm like, is there a storm here or not? Because like I couldn't easily tell, just glancing, especially on some of the other spots, if it was a storm or not.
I just kept telling, like, dude, look at the sky. Are you getting wet? There's a storm.
So that was definitely a major thing that I had.
Yep.
I'll come back to the map in a moment, though. So over here, I agree. The crew, the skeleton crew, all look cool. They're all a little different, so it's not like they just copied and pasted the same image.
Yep.
They made it a little different for each one of them. Great. Iconography on these cards says, bottom left corner, if you do this action, you get this action as an optional bonus. You don't need to do it, it's just there, but wait, for this one, you get, if you had both these cards, you can do it in any order you want, but it was very clear, like an arrow pointing, this is what you get.
Yep.
So I love that. These cards here were for the merchant ships. You attack the merchant ship. If it's the orange ship, this card represents what its strength is. Green ship represents the strength. Great. Market, yeah, looks cool. Has the cost point, easy to understand. This is easy to understand about the Navy ship and how it moves. All of that was great. For player board design and everything, this I do like that it's like a ship. So it's like the ship wheel. So you're going around the ship wheel, deciding what to do throughout the game. I like that they set up these little things here for that, and it has very clear arrows. Where do they go, depending on different things that happen.
Yep.
So, the iconography on a lot of these cards is very clear, very nice.
It looks like they're pissing blood.
Hey, you gotta go. This legend board, I understand what they did. There is a lot on this board. I honestly think column 1, you can just scrap. There was no purpose to name all these things.
Oh my goodness.
I just think there's so much on this board. On this little,
I'm now a pirate, and now I'm a conceal.
Yeah, I didn't need that. I think this column could, and then everything could be a little bit clearer. Because you have this little gold piece that barely fits on, that's just moving around the side, as well as your curse gold. And then it's like, okay, this is your ship's movement, this is how many dice you use to battle, and this is your legend track as you're moving up. So again, it's not really that big of a deal, and then you have your little treasure chest down here, your booty that you're trying to bury. I just think that there's just a lot on this small board.
Yeah. I get you.
For the main game board, I am going to call out grapes that he did not call out. So
I'll tell you grapes.
I'm going to do this. So let's toss that over there for a minute. And toss that over there. Give me this one. This is something that significantly bothered me. There's no consistency as where the icons are located. So these are both sale for coffee beans. This one's in the upper left-hand corner. This is the upper right-hand corner. And that's all over the place. So every time I went to look to be like, oh, let me go look at the top corner. Oh, nope, it's not there. It's now over here. Or now down there. So, like, purple's down here. Another one's up here in this corner. I don't know why, but why not consistently be like, okay, the action, whatever the action that represents here, should just always be in that corner. Obviously, you can put your cove location. You can put your numbers elsewhere, whatever. But for whatever reason, they didn't always have the same thing in the same spot.
Well, it's because they were putting it to where the artwork was. So, like, you're selling in this.
I know, but
so it's for the randomness of the actual look of the game. That's why they did that. Because that's a town where you're selling.
Yeah, I would have preferred, though, like, put the town always in the same corner so I can just see it easier.
I get you. I'm just advocating for the designers as to
No, I understand why they did it, but
yeah.
I would have preferred to be like, okay, just put the towns all in the same corner so I could easily glance at the board and know where all those markets were.
Yeah.
Because that took me extra time every single time we played, was finding, okay, I know I have these resources, where are those markets? And I had to look at all 4 corners of every card to try to find it. And the thing there, too, I think was the size, because, again, you get ships on these and you get these tokens moving around.
Yeah.
It's not that unrealistic that things start getting covered. Yeah. And you got to start moving things around to try to expose what's going on. So I think if it was always in the same corner, it'd be like, okay, never put anything there to cover it, so you always know what's going on.
Yep.
So because of that, because of the storm clouds, so mostly the map and how the map looked to me was my gripe of design. I just wasn't a fan overall. I think I think it's also super basic in terms of how the ocean is formed. I do like how they connect the corners and make little mini islands, but I give design a 4.
Okay. How do you feel about gameplay?
Well, all right.
The final category.
So first, let's talk about how do you play the game.
How do you gameplay?
The way this game works is you have people called deckhands. These deckhands start... deckhands. Yeah, you're decking your hand. You have these employees, and they start right here at the 3 bottom spaces.
Employees.
And you have your captain. Your captain is what's going around the wheel, deciding which action to do, which those get randomly decided at the beginning of the game and randomly divvied out. Then, if you want to skip one, you can just pull one of these employees out, put it there, then you're no longer gaining this benefit. So I did thoroughly enjoy that. That was really cool. On the game board, your ship, you're moving. You have to move at least 1 space every turn. You can move a max of whatever your movement is, which is told on your legend board. And you go to different locations to do the different actions based on the symbology to your captain's orders. So you can go around, you can gain booty, such as what is in this ship here, and go and trade it and sell it based on the market price. You can go search and pick up these tokens. You can battle your other players or the merchant ships to try to gain money and other resources. You can plunder and just take resources, pretty much like you're digging a hole and picking it out. And you can hire a crew. So I did like the variety of what you could do and how it's laid out. And then the first player to bury 3 treasure chests wins. If you're playing with the expansion, you also have to bury this urn. So that's pretty much gameplay. You just go back and forth, going around and around and around until someone gets victory. Yep. For my thoughts on it, I love how this is random.
Yep.
Where you kind of got to go around and around and like, hey, I had to do a battle action. I need a search now. I have to wait to try to get all the way around or use my people accordingly. So I did enjoy that where, again, my setup's different than Nick's.
Which, I mean, is part of the reason why you won the second game.
Yeah.
Because like my
you
one
didn't have a
picture
chance
was
to
one too far away because somehow my randomized rondel ended up in the exact same order as the first game we played.
So I did like that, how that's random. I like the crew, where you can gather crew by doing the crew action to help you out in other actions. From what we know, there is no crew action here on the left-hand side, so you're not buying a crew and then you're using another crew.
I don't think so.
But it helps with the other 4, which I love. And then the skeleton crew just adds some more fun things with the expansion.
Yeah, no.
Market is great. I love how the setup is, if I sold purple, the rest of these slide up, purple goes to the bottom. So supply and demand in reality right there. Love that. And then the other thing is here, you have a ghost ship, you have a naval ship. They're trying to attack you, which can cause you to lose the curse gold for the ghost ship and jostle you. The navy ship will just jostle everybody and throw them away.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all of that. Again, I love all of this stuff. On this side of the board here, the market, the crew, the player board stuff, I love all that. The problems I have are over here. So, for plunder action, great. You literally grab some random resources, you get what you get. I love it. For battling the merchant ships, They are listed right over here on what their strength is. You just have to beat their strength. You get gold, and you get the resource or booty list or in their ship. And then they literally will go to the other side of the map away from you and restart. Love that. The burying treasure is cool. You have to get a bunch of gold, go find the spot and bury it, and then no other player can bury in that same location. I did enjoy that. And then the search action I thought was also interesting, where you would just go to a location, flip a tile, and get whatever's on it. What I didn't like was the search action for the ghost ship, or the expansion. There was only 2 options. You either get 1 cursed gold, or you get evil mermaids, which require you...
There's 3.
Oh, there's a 3 gold?
There's 3 gold, cursed gold, mermaid.
Oh. How many 3 golds are there? Just 1? Oh, 2. Okay. I never saw those.
There's a 4 gold in there also.
Oh, so, okay. So, never mind. Okay, so I'll recant that. There's gold in there. That's even better. Because I was like, if it's just the 2...
There's only 3 mermaids.
Oh, we just happen to get them every time.
We just happen to nail the mermaids every time.
So that's fine then. So the balance of the tokens is fine. My biggest gripe is how battling works with other players. So, in reality, if we're on the open seas and we're both pirates battling each other, I'm not just going to take 1 cursed gold from the other player and then raise my legend
So it's not
level.
the battling you have an issue with, it's what happens if you win.
Sure. No, yeah, the dice rolling, everything's fine. Yeah. Not the act of attacking, but the result of the attack.
Yes.
Yeah, so the way attacking works is I decide to attack Nick. I go into his square or his map card. I say attack, and it has to be obviously on the attack action.
Yep.
And we both roll dice. You find out who has the higher sum of points. That person wins.
You do it properly using your surefire tokens in the right way, unlike we did. We never actually used the surefire tokens in any game.
I think in the Tuesday I used 1 once. I think maybe. But that was just like add +1. I don't know. So my issue I have with it is if I win, all I get is 1 cursed gold if you're playing with the expansion only.
And only if you're cursed.
And only if you're cursed. If I'm not cursed and not playing the expansion, all that happens is I get to move up 1 on my legend track. Which, sure, could give me gold. It could give me some extra things. My opponent gets 1 surefire token, which now that we know how it's actually used is a huge benefit.
Yep.
So he could easily turn a surefire token to a 4, which is 3 additional hits, or a 1, same thing. And then you move on. What I wish happened is, 1, your opponent loses half their gold. So half the gold they have, gone. Yeah, I put a hole in the side of your ship. It fell in the ocean. 2, I should be able to steal 1 resource.
Yep.
I would much rather have that as the outcome than me going up this track if I win.
Yeah.
Because there was multiple times where I'm like, towards the very end of our playthrough, if you look at the second game, I looked, I'm like, I could attack Nick. He has like 8 gold. If I attack him, maybe I'll move up. And I'm like, oh wait, I would only move up and gain another deckhand. That doesn't really give me a benefit. He's not going to even lose any gold. It's not even worth the attack. So I don't know how we would feel in a 3-4 player game attacking, but it didn't seem useful. If anything, it just makes your opponent stronger, even if you're winning, because now they have all these surefire tokens.
Do you spill the wine again? And break the glass? I heard the noise.
It's all everywhere?
I heard the noise. It's fine. Just clean it up so the dog doesn't get the glass.
No, but it was one of my nice wine glasses.
Pay attention.
We're going to get you, like, hard plastic. And a sippy cup. So, that to me was a huge turnoff. In a game like this, where you're pirates on the open sea, I wanted attacking to be a big part of the game.
Yeah.
And battling. And it really wasn't. Like, we avoided each other most of the game.
This is the second pirate game that we've played where that's been an issue.
Yeah.
Like we played Seafall before, which is a legacy game, and
that was a huge issue. Especially like 3 parts into the campaign.
We were playing with 5 of us too.
Yeah, like the first time we're like all close together, and then it's like, yeah, we're all over the place now.
Yeah, like the max amount of players and still didn't end up.
Yeah. So my gameplay score of Tiny Epic Vikings. Nope. Tiny Epic Pirates. Tiny Epic Pirates.
I don't think we ever did a review on Vikings. We'll have to play it again and do that.
My gameplay score of Tiny Epic Pirates with the expansion is a... Ooh.
He's like, ooh, ooh. What
I'm
is
gonna
it?
be honest.
Dude.
Because we've reset our grading scale now, and I've redone it in my mind. 2.5.
Whoa.
Because in my opinion, I think half of this game should be you're battling on the open sea, and it's just not fun or not useful or purposeful.
Wow. All right, do this too. Let's do that. You can just keep it on the board. So.
No, let me just go. There you go. Mid view. Everything's arranged.
Cool. So I understand what board is saying. So gameplay wise, yes, I enjoy the randomness of the rondo, even though I ended up with the same exact combo of the rondo.
No rondo.
I don't mind. I think that's a lot of fun. Adds variety. Adds a good asymmetry. That's completely random, which is good because now you can't choose a character based on your playstyle.
Oh, all the characters are the same mostly.
No, I mean like this, like character boards
Oh.
with actions.
Yeah.
It's
No, I
completely
agree. I thoroughly agree.
The captain, I like that all captains have one of two sides. You have 1, 2, 3 at the top for the dice, and then you have either bury treasure and plunder or bury treasure and attack. And you can start on one side. I like that during the game, when doing the crew up action after crewing up, you can have a mutiny, and you flip the captain card over, and you flip over your captain token.
Oh, that would have been so nice. I just thought
To show that you've done so. And this can change up the dice. It does change up the dice that you have available from them. So it can completely switch up the entire game as you're playing based on maybe the crew that you've been able to get and the dice at the top of their cards. It could really help you out. And it changes up the stuff at the bottom. So maybe at the beginning of the game, you want your plunder to be the main secondary action because you're trying to get resources and yada yada. And then end game, you're like, you know what? I want to attack. Or vice versa. Maybe you want to start off attacking when everybody's weak to try and go up that legend scale track. And then when you're high enough, you flip to plunder because now you're like, I need to get gold, get stuff, and bury some treasure.
Yeah.
So that is a very simple but effective thing. The worker placement action selection portion of putting out the individual meeples and your captain meeple, my favorite part of this game is how this whole thing works. How when I want to do an action, I can go one over and then pick him up and put him down here. Or if I have multiple of these out or just one, I can completely skip over all those spaces and put him there, then collect these two and put them down the bottom because of what I'm trying to do when I go to move. I think that is a fun, very simple, but very deep strategic part of the game that takes place on this little card. Magnificent. The various characters are great. The legend board, while I don't have a problem with the way it looks, I think it's a little too difficult to move up. I think you should move up this board for each merchant that you beat, not just pirate, or maybe to beat a certain number of merchants. So maybe for every 2 merchants you beat, you can move up the scale, and maybe because it's gonna get progressively more difficult as it is because the merchants get stronger. So you just keep that either 1 pirate beat moves you up 1, or every 2 merchants moves you up 1. That would
What? That's not how that works.
I think we did this wrong too.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. I think
No, it does. We never took out a 4.
no, this here.
It means you go up.
Yeah.
I never took out a 4.
Oh, okay.
I failed 3 times. Or
Okay.
twice.
Okay.
Oh no, I did. Actually, I took out 1 at the very end.
So the merchant does move you up, which I just barely know. So if you
Oh,
were to
yeah.
be a harder merchant, you would go up on the
Yeah.
track.
I beat the second to last turn, but I
So-
already had enough.
My apologies.
Yeah.
There. So they do this. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you just
Take
have to
that
get
out.
rid of the first like level 2s.
Yeah. So okay, cool. That's good. I like that now. So then if we go back to the main board, the market stuff I agree with. I'm not even touch on that. That's if you have a market in your game where things are valued, always do supply and demand. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy, clearly to do. Like always do that. For the gameplay out here on the board, I like the merchants are going from corner to corner throughout the game, and so it's giving you something to potentially attack, right? I like that we can attack each other. I think the dice rolling is fine. I think using the surefire tokens the proper way definitely makes it more interesting. I agree, though, with board that there should be more to winning and there should be more to losing. So with that being said, like if you lose, yeah, lose half your gold. That's fine with me because that's a heavy hit because of the situation you're in. But I almost think it should be a choice that the attacker makes. I think the attacker, maybe it's not half the gold, but the attacker could choose to take like 3 gold. Or the attacker could choose to take a supply.
Sure.
One or the other, because either could be helpful.
Yeah.
You may take a supply because it's higher in the market and you're going to go sell it and get more money anyway. Or you take the gold because you know what, I only need this much gold, and now I'm going to go bury my last treasure. So I think that definitely could have been improved, that interaction. It seems to be the weak point of Tiny Epic games so far, is the player interaction. I don't remember from Tiny Epic Vikings. I think that was fine. But Tiny Epic Western, the dueling situation was the weak point of that game because it was entirely chance based on a die roll. Here, at least, you can kind of structure your die rolls to be more beneficial.
Yeah.
Based on your crew. But the consequence needs to be heavier. I think the consequence for the Navy ship also needs to be heavier. So right now, everyone goes into the repair slot. Okay, so now they're there. There's times at the end game I'm like, whatever. I'm not really planning to use them anyway, so I don't care. That is one where I think if you get hit by the Navy, you lose half your gold.
Yeah.
That's one where I think they should take half that gold, and that should be that heavy hit. Because that's going to suck. Now you're really going to want to avoid the Navy. Now you're really going to take the extra turn to go the long way to make sure they don't get you. Same goes for the ghost ship. The ghost ship jostles one person. Takes a cursed gold. Something else needs to happen there. Because the way it works now, the first time you interact with the ghost ship, you become cursed. Jostles a person, takes a cursed gold. But nothing else. There should be a consequence to being cursed to balance out the benefit of being cursed.
I think the cool thing that you could have done is like you had to flip one of your people upside down.
Maybe.
And like you lose them for a turn or however long or whatever. Or you just lose them completely.
Maybe
you lose a crew.
Something like that.
Like you got cursed, so they got pissed off because you were angry and then they left.
Maybe it's something of that sort. I don't know. Because right now, honestly, after playing it twice, I think next time we played it, I would just go right for the ghost ship and get cursed immediately.
Yeah. Right.
Because there's no consequence once you're cursed.
No.
It only gives benefits. It gives you better abilities, and then it allows you to take cursed gold from the other characters. And so there needs to be something that balances that out to where there's a negative to being cursed. Each turn, maybe your gold goes down by 1.
Yeah.
So you're having to balance this thing that's happening. It's a constant push and pull. And it's like, shit. So very long-winded there. Those are my main issues. Other than that, the gameplay-wise, I like having to get materials, get gold, bury stuff, all this. I like the expansion that it adds in a different way to bury something that you need to do. So I think I give this a 4 out of 5 for me.
All right. So you could even have it if the ghost ship comes through. I had an idea.
Lost it.
Yep. She gone forever.
Yeah, so for me, like I think the game is very, very fun, clearly. There's just those few things I think would make it that much better.
That's a great idea, too.
It'll come to you when you stop thinking about it.
Alright.
Alrighty. So, front facing?
About to be.
Let's
Need
go.
a box still. Oh, not yet. Not yet.
I know.
Not yet.
We're good. Let's get to him.
It's small anyway.
Let's get him up there.
Alright, so now we'll go through our standard process of each of us going through those same 5 categories, giving a quick thought about why we gave the combined score we gave, and then you'll get the final overall
Countdown.
boom, boom, boom score.
Boom, 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 boom.
Booty, booty, booty score.
Alright. Here we go. So, for storage, I gave it a 3.5. Board gave it a 3. So, Ball and Board Games gives it a 3. So as we mentioned in other videos, I don't remember if we did at the beginning of this one, but we round down, not up. So if you don't make the next half or whole, you fall back to the previous half or whole. So this sits at a 3 for storage. Storage is the typical Tiny Epic Games storage. Everything fits in there.
I remember my thought now.
Yeah. Everything fits in there, which is great. But to do so, you often have to compromise components.
Yeah. My thought as a quick interlude was, if you're cursed, that you have to pick up these tokens as you go through. Maybe they add more variety into like more negatives into like what's there.
Oh, I'm gonna say, because right now that'd be a benefit.
Oh no, yeah, but yeah, you add more negatives into there, so it's like really like a chance. Like, oh, the more they move around, if you're cursed early on, you're picking up tokens.
Yeah.
So next category is the rulebook. So Bald gave this a 5. I gave it a 4.5. Bald and Board Games holds it there at that 4.5. My main only gripe was all of the explanation on the iconography on all these crew cards could have been on the back of both of those rule books. Just move Solo up a page to make it significantly easier mid-game to just reference.
Next up is components. I give it a 4.5. Board gave it a 4. So Bald and Board Games gives components a 4. The components are a mixture of great and okay. The cards are okay. The punch-out pieces are okay. The wooden pieces, the metal coin, are great. The ships are a mixture between the two because they are great in what they are, but they're okay in how sturdy pieces of them are.
For design, how everything looked, Bald gave this a 4. I gave this a 4.
Nope. 4.5.
I'm reading the wrong columns. I'm reading over here. Bald gave this a 4.5. I gave this a 4. Bald and Board Games gives design a 4. The major gripe, specifically on my part, was I didn't like the map lookout at all. I thought where the different symbology was on each card should have been more consistent in the same corners. The storm cloud being larger, which they fixed in the expansion.
Yeah, what they could have done, honestly, which wouldn't have really thrown off the design much, is in the middle of each card, just have the icons for what's on that card.
That too, yeah. Just have like a line
Just
in the middle.
just literally in the middle. Just boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Just 1, 2, like, because it's literally going to be 1 to 3 icons in the middle.
True.
All right. So, for gameplay, I gave this a 4. Board came in at a hot 2.5. 0.5 better than Tiny Epic Western. Bald and Board Games then gives us a 3. Gameplay is fun in a lot of areas. But it's in the specific areas that you look forward to in a type of game like this where it falls short. The pirate portion of Tiny Epic Pirates does not feel like that.
Yeah, it feels like the main focus was like, oh, pirates are plundering and gathering booty and burying treasure. And it's like, no, in real life, 50% of the pirates is also fighting other people.
It feels like this is like a casual pirate. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. My bad.
Sails away.
Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like you're trying to avoid the Navy ship and the Ghost ship more than you're trying to avoid each other the entire game.
Yeah.
So
now for final scores. So the 5 categories we just went through summed up for each of us independently. So as board, the 5 scores for Tiny Epic Pirates is a 3.5 out of 5.
And for Bald, the score for 20 Epic Pirates and the Curse of Amdiak is a 4 out of 5.
Therefore,
I'm Scottish all of a sudden at the end.
No pirate Scottish.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there were some.
Yeah.
Captain.
Just barrels of Guinness.
Barrels of Guinness. I mean.
So overall, the Bald and Board Games final score for Tiny Epic Pirates Curse of Amdiak's expansion is a 3.5 out of 5.
And that makes Tiny Epic Pirates with the Curse of Amdiak expansion a Bald and Board Games just okay. So it is a fun game, but it's just okay, kind of as the scoring system goes. It's nothing that is going to be something I'm excited to get back out to the table. And I know there's other games, like we mentioned Tiny Epic Western a lot, that, what was its final score?
4.
A 4.
Because of
Which got a must play. So that's why we adjusted our rating system in how we rate each category, because we realized that the ratings that were coming through weren't very truthful to how we feel. Which if you watch Tiny Epic Western video, you can see board go. And my final score is...
Yeah. So yeah, the main issue prior was we have 5 categories.
Yep.
And we were playing all those out and be like, oh, if you had a great rule book, great storage, and great design, that's 3 out of 5 categories.
Yep.
That's not necessarily true to the game and to you as viewers if you want to buy the game. So us either being more harsh into the numbers, or what we could do, which we'll talk about offline, is adding a weight system to weigh like gameplay a little bit harder than you weigh some of the other aspects, where it gives you the true feel of the end-to-end. Like, just because it has cool design and rulebook doesn't mean you want to sit down and play the game.
Yeah, and you know, we may add or remove categories to help towards that weighting as well. So the review system is ever changing to make sure that we are being as honest as possible with you with whatever the final score is. If you've been watching our reviews for a while, you know that not too long ago, a couple months ago, we added in the just okay category because we were getting a lot of must plays for games that we felt were like meh. And so we want to make sure that you know when we feel a game is so, and we want to make sure you know when a game is
I've never made that expression at a game.
I definitely have. So bear with us as we go through this, and we continue to try and get you the most honest content as we can. You don't know that.
There's definitely no polar bears here.
There you go. Say polar bears.
Not in this ocean.
No.
It's the Caribbean here.
That's the Caribbean polar bear. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in and watching our review of Tiny Epic Pirates and the Curse of Amdiak, and all of our other reviews as well, as I said, as we evolve and figure out how to do this properly for you. This was Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald.
I'm bored.
We'll see you in the Cove.